protocol. There is that. Okay. This one is a joint declaration.
Very good. Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Wonderful. Yeah. Wonderful. In the close relations that our two countries have enjoyed for over a century through our cultural links, our shared values, and our commitment to free trade. Our strategic partnership, whether on sustainable development, climate change, or through the Commonwealth in matters of defence and security, in which Kenya plays a key leadership role, is of mutual benefit to both our countries. This agreement strengthens the commercial partnership which Britain enjoys with a strong, market-based, technologically advanced economy, one of the fastest growing in Africa and ranked by the World Bank as one of the best places to do business in the region. And for Kenya, I believe it secures trade with its largest European investor, including over 150 British companies and 350 United Kingdom affiliated firms. It ensures duty-free access to the British market, and it supports jobs and economic development in line with your Big Four priorities. Trade between the United Kingdom and Kenya was worth around £1.4 billion, or around 190 billion Kenyan shillings last year. So this agreement secures that trade. It ensures duty-free access to the United Kingdom for Kenyan exports, and a gradual liberalisation for British exporters in return. To take a couple of examples, over 40% of Kenya's vegetable exports go to the United Kingdom, and over 40% of the United Kingdom's tea imports were from Kenya. So by signing this agreement today, I take no small pleasure in playing my part to secure the future of the great British cuppa. As a nation of tea drinkers, I can assure you this is a matter of great national importance. And this mutually beneficial partnership ensures that businesses have the certainty that they need to continue trading as they do now, supporting jobs and livelihoods in both our countries. And it provides the strongest possible platform for the United Kingdom and Kenya to expand a trade relationship. This deal includes provisions on development cooperation, and it paves the way for further negotiations on services and also in trade-related rules in the future. It does mark an important step towards concluding a regional agreement with all members of the East African community too, to ensure that other partner states can join in, sharing these benefits when they are ready to do so. So as we face this unprecedented economic challenge of the coronavirus pandemic, it is particularly welcome that this deal, at this time, secures a seamless transition of Anglo-Kenyan trade in the immediate and long term, gives businesses and investors in Kenya and the United Kingdom a much-needed boost, and secures a solid foundation from which we can work together to take our partnership for prosperity even further in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Minister Jayawa Dena, Ranil, distinguished guests, Madam Theo Clark, the trade envoy to Kenya, it's actually to have Africa, right?
Just Kenya.
Just Kenya, okay, the trade envoy to Kenya. I'm delighted to be here in London today on this auspicious occasion when we signed the recently concluded agreement between our two countries. I wish to congratulate the government of Kenya and the government of the United Kingdom and our chief negotiators for concluding this agreement. Honorable Minister, distinguished guests, we acknowledge that this agreement renews our historic ties and strong trading relationship between our countries, a very, very deep and long history, as you've just outlined, that goes into more than 100 years, and to a place where the UK is now one of the fifth largest export market for Kenya. Following this long-anticipated signing ceremony, I wish to reiterate that Kenya will endeavor to have the same ratified before the 31st of December. However, we acknowledge that we're not in control of the next processes after today, because that is in the hands of both our parliaments. But I think if we are not able to conclude the domestic processes by the 31st of December, we acknowledge and we believe that the bridging mechanism that we will be signing today will also serve to ensure that there will be no trade disruptions between our two countries, and will send a very, very strong signal to the UK investors in Kenya and those Kenyan investors and farmers who feed you every day. I hope you did go down and buy some vegetables after the last time we spoke, but you definitely do buy our team. Honorable Minister and distinguished guests, we really want to thank you so much for availing yourselves for this historic occasion. We want to thank the British government for the support and the honor it has given Kenya in concluding this agreement, taking into consideration our special circumstances as a developing country within our community in East Africa. But like you, I also look forward to the accession by other East African states so that jointly we can deepen our regional integration and we can build a much stronger engagement between the United Kingdom and East Africa. The implementation of this agreement will be very, very positive for all persons, both in the UK and in Kenya, and I am glad we had the opportunity to lead the process jointly in bringing this into conclusion. I thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And as the new Prime Minister's Trade Envoy to Kenya, I'm delighted to be here today with both of you. And I'm so pleased that all the hard work after the past few months has paid off and resulted in signing of our agreement today. I think it really will provide an excellent platform for the UK and Kenya to build on our very prosperous trading relationship. And I'm really looking forward to working with all of you to make that a reality. And I very much hope to come to Kenya next year to visit with you and various members of your government. Thank you.
Thank you.
How would you describe today? Is it a successful day to you? Has it panned out the way you planned?
I think this has been a huge day. It's a very ecstatic day for us, one in which we feel we have accomplished a major milestone. And this is because the date of December 31, that the EU and the UK divorce comes into effect, is set in stone. And we were in a position where we needed to get a deal for Kenya so that Kenya's trade with the UK is secure, it's certain, and that everyone involved in the value chain knows that we can grow our crops in Kenya, their market in the UK will be intact. This is a market and a trade regime that involves 200 billion shillings. So this was something that we needed to be secure about, and I think we have secured that. We are extremely pleased.
I know that the day is almost coming to an end after all that has happened. Is there a part of you that feels a bit relieved that finally the day is gone and you have the agreement banked?
I think we needed to get across the finishing line. When you start a negotiation, the feeling is that you will get there, but there are many hurdles along the way. There are some that you anticipate, there are some that you don't anticipate. It's a negotiation, that's what negotiations are like. But in the end, the question is, have we secured what we set out to secure for the Republic of Kenya, for the Kenyan producer, for the Kenyan manufacturer, for the Kenyan citizen? And that in the end is the only thing we care about. What is it that we have secured for Kenya?
And there are lots of Kenyans who would like to know briefly what the highlights of EPA are.
The There's a number of important aspects. One is that we can say that the market as previously designed is secure, that we can continue to export into the UK duty-free, quota-free basis, that many Kenyans know that this is a huge market for our flowers, for our coffee, for our tea, and that those things can continue to come. That 40% of the vegetables that are eaten here on British tables are Kenyan. A lot of the fruits that are now getting to be eaten here are from Kenya. And we are also seeing a new variety of things like herbs, like spices that are getting here from our country. And these things, I think, are important for our farmers, they're important for our economy, and they are things that will now continue to come in on favorable terms.
And is that the reason why you felt like there was a need for the EPA to be initiated?
Yeah, we needed the EPA initiated and signed off, because without it, we would have had problems with the UK market after December 31. The reason is that, as I said, the UK is leaving the EU. That date is not changing. And we had to act to ensure that when the UK leaves the EU, we have a trade regime in place that guarantees our market. And I think that's now accomplished.
And there are lots of Kenyans who are really excited about this, and they would like to know what the objectives of the EPA are to Kenya and what is contained in it. And if you may please, can you tell us what is unique in granting Kenya's exporters access to the UK market post-Brexit?
I think when you set out to negotiate and sign an agreement, you want to ensure that you secure what is important for your country. At the outset, we wanted trade continuity with the UK secured. So you could say that's definitely done. We also wanted to expand the variety of products that we export. For instance, as outlined, half of the tea drunk in the UK is from Kenya. A lot of coffee here is from Kenya. Vegetables, fruits are from Kenya. Those are stories that people know. The stories people know less about is the success of avocados, for instance, which is new. The fact that there is a lot of honey being produced in Kenya now, and that there is a market here that can absorb that honey fairly quickly. We under this new regime, that Kenya is ripe to transfer some of its textile sales from the US to the UK, for instance. So markets are always important to diversify. So we sell all our apparels to the US. We can sell some to the UK under this regime as well. If we look at the beef market, if we look at our animals, goats, and dairy products, all those we can also now sell to the UK under this new trade regime. What does that mean? It means that hundreds of thousands of jobs in not just in the flower sector, not just in the tea and coffee sectors, but for smallholders doing honey, for smallholders doing fruits, blueberries. Blueberries are loved here. Blackberries, blackcurrant, raspberries. Those are not things that you really find sometimes on our shelves, and this can be sold here under this new regime. It just means that under this agreement, we can export more to the UK and get more money into the pockets of ordinary Kenyans.
And there are lots of British citizens who are equally excited over these new arrangements. How do you think the UK population or British farms can benefit from this? What are the new frontiers for them?
I think for British farms, there is scope to deepen what they are already doing. If you take the example of Hela, it's a manufacturing, an apparels manufacturing company in Athi River at the EPZ, for instance. They employ 6,000 people. They produce designer clothes for the US market. Additional investment would mean additional jobs for Kenyans, while it would mean additional markets potentially here in the UK, in which that they can continue to thrive. So they have to deepen their investment. They have to look at new areas of investment in Kenya, new areas of agro processing, for instance. Look at what they can do with value addition, with our tea, with our coffee, working in concert with Kenyan businesses, so that we do what we need to do, which is produce for export and also have the facilities that are necessary to keep our foods at the required standards. So the cold rooms that are being built across our country, for instance, there's one coming up in Nyandarua for potatoes. These are significant investments that are likely to impact markets such as this, because if we can show that we have the ability to preserve food to the standards that are required or are sought of us, then we will be able to secure and hold onto these markets.
And do you think that the signing of this new agreement could in any way affect the relationship between Kenya and other European states?
I don't think so, really. We have an agreement with the EU under which we trade with them. That continues in the same line. We now have an agreement with the UK, which secures our market to the UK. We will continue to aggressively work to try to improve our market share in the UK, because it would significantly raise the value of our goods sold to the UK, secure the jobs that we hold and increase them, and ensure that many more farmers can not just plant their food, but they can improve the quality and quantity of their product. Because, to be honest, we are not at a level of export to this market that is huge. I think we have a lot of scope to improve in terms of what we export to the UK. So there is lots to do to ensure that we fully benefit from the trade between our two countries.
And following this achievement, what is your next big move?
I think let's work to implement this one first and then focus on something else.
Okay, and are there any significant challenges that you faced during the negotiation period?
Well, negotiations are always dicey, because everyone comes to the table with their positions on many things, and you have to hammer out a position that is agreeable to everyone. So negotiations are always tough, and these ones were very tough, because obviously, whereas we had a text from which we began, which is we all agree these are the arrangements with the EU under which we work. The UK had its own priorities, and we had our own priorities. So we've worked around that. We've got a deal. The UK is happy. We are extremely happy. I think we now move forward.
Since you took office, this milestone has more than doubled the significance of relationship between Kenya and the United Kingdom and the trade between the two nations. Are you satisfied, or will you push for more within your term?
We must always push the boundaries. There cannot be a situation where I'm just satisfied. I think it would not be good enough. We always have to press for more for our country. That's why we are here, to ensure that as much as our country can benefit, that it does benefit from this type of relationship. So we will be pushing on other partnerships that we can benefit from during my time here, and hopefully beyond.
And last but not least, what message would you have to Kenyan farms or Kenyan citizens who could take opportunity of this new trade agreement? What message would you give to them directly?
That we've secured this market, that the market is certain, that the market is open, and that we are prepared to work with them to help them access where there isn't access, and to help them expand where expansion is required. Kenya and the UK are old partners. We know each other well. We know the pressure points we need to push in order to get things done. We are doing so. We will continue to do so. And that our commitment to the Kenyan people is to work to ensure that they access this market in the way that benefits them, because that is what we have to do.
And following what you've just said, and also following the signing of this EPA, there are lots of farmers who stand to benefit from this, and they could be asking themselves, what are the reasons why Kenya does not sign this EPA with other EAC partner states? What would you say to them?
It was the wish of Kenya that other East African Community member states came on board at the same time. However, we are the only middle-income country within the EAC. Other countries are least developed countries, and therefore will continue to be allowed to trade with the UK after Brexit. So it was imperative that Kenya secures its place, that Kenya secures its produce, that Kenya secures its market. In the end, we have to protect our businesses, we have to protect our farmers, we have to protect our jobs, and then ask the question whether this affects any other person in any other way. But the bottom line is that Kenya had to do this to secure its market, to secure its interests. The rest of East Africa is not affected at this point in any way by Brexit.
Okay, you have mentioned the date of December 31st, which is when the UK will officially leave the European Union. And having that in mind, is everything in place? When will the EPA be signed, rectified, and implemented? Can you please give us some insights into the timelines, please?
We signed the EPA as the trade agreement today, as everyone knows.
So the signing part of it is done and dusted.
So the signing part is done and dusted. It's done. The next stage here is ratification. The agreement will now be presented to the Kenyan Parliament for the legislative oversight role. We do expect that Parliament will do what Parliament needs to do. They know what the deadline is, so they understand how this has to move forward. But the bottom line is that the remaining processes are for Parliament and the Executive, and we do expect that this will run smoothly. Once that's done, we are on the move.
And we have seen everything that you've done here in the UK, particularly here in London, to make sure that this sails smoothly. But are you doing anything in particular to make sure that Kenyan farms will take full advantages of this new EPA?
You know, sometimes the signing of the agreement is the easier part. Yes, it's taken us months to negotiate. Yes, it's taken us a lot of time, expertise, resources to look at what precisely must we do to shape the agreement in the way that Kenya benefits. And unfortunately, that's, again, the easier part. Because now you've got to move to implementation of the agreement in such a way that Kenyans understand what in it benefits them, and then to take full advantage of that. So I believe that we will be embarking in a process in which we have consultation with stakeholders, where farmers are, where manufacturers are, the National Treasury, the State Department for Trade, Foreign Affairs, everyone that is involved, to ensure that people understand what the agreement means, people understand what the opportunities are, and then we move to encourage them, to work with them, to ensure that where we need to improve production, we are providing what is necessary to do so, and also working on the business climate environment to ensure that we continue improving on the ease of doing business, because that encourages investment, pounds and dollars, whichever currency you wish, and pretty much gets the country to continue running at the speed that it needs to do.
Yes, there are some Kenyans who are already trading with British companies, and there are Kenyan farms which are already exporting stuff to the United Kingdom. So, can you tell us about the new possibilities of exports to the UK for Kenyan exporters, and how they will be able to explore the new frontiers?
I think I've already referred to agro-processing, for instance. We sell lots of tea here, we sell lots of coffee here. We can do some value addition because it brings in more money. We can look at new agricultural products that we are not exporting here at scale, like honey, I mentioned, type of fruits that we are not already the market leader, like blueberries, blackberries, blackcurrant, raspberries. We can look at taking advantage of the apparels market, the beef market, for instance. All that is something that we can look to invest in. We can look to encourage in exporting to the UK. We can look at the leather market, the shoes market. If we produce these things at scale and at the quality that we require, I think that this market is ready and willing to lap up our goods.
And President Uhuru Kenyatta highlighted the big four agendas, of which are his main priorities. Now, how does this agreement, this EPA, come into play, or how is it related to that?
As you know, President Kenyatta was here in the UK in January, and the most significant thing he did while he was here was sign a new strategic partnership agreement with Prime Minister Johnson. And one of the things that it lays clear is the path to economic prosperity. Under this pillar, we foresee increased investment in the President's Big Four agenda. So affordable housing, manufacturing, healthcare, and there is lots of British investment in these areas already. The trade agreement is significant because it provides for avenues for continued economic development as part of the agreement, and we expect to see continued or deeper British investment in the areas that the President has clearly outlined. We're completely in agreement with Prime Minister Johnson on what needs to be done, and both of them have been encouraging business to take the decisions they need to take in order to deepen that investment.
How long has Kenya looked forward to this moment?
For a very long time. Once Brexit was announced, it became very clear to us, given the significance of the UK market, that Kenya would need to make sure that in the event and at the conclusion of the Brexit transition, it would be ready with an agreement to secure the trade relations that we have with the United Kingdom.
Are you happy with the agreement that you've reached with the United Kingdom?
I think today we are ecstatic because we're really, we needed to beat the deadline of concluding this agreement before the 31st of December 2020, because as you know, the United Kingdom is our 5th largest trading partner. It's a destination of a lot of our fresh produce, a lot of our tea, and increasingly a lot of our other manufactured products. So it was critical that Kenya secures this agreement. But the UK is also the source of one of the largest source of FDI in Kenya. And those British investors require a predictable environment for their investment. So this is a deal that works for both Kenya and the United Kingdom.
How will this deal affect Kenya, the relationship between Kenya and the European Union? Do you think it will have any effect at all?
Not really, because the UK has been part of the European Union. Our trading relations with Europe has been the Economic Partnership Agreement. What we have done in this agreement is to translate the terms and the provisions of the EPA that we've had with Europe, but recognize that Britain is no longer part of Europe. So it's exactly the same deal, the same provisions that we negotiated in the EPA.
And Britain is quite a good negotiator. They are very good in this game.
Very tough.
And did you feel like you're underdogs in this?
No. We've been excellent partners. Kenya and the UK enjoy a very, very good relationship. So even as we came to this, which was a very tough negotiation, we came as partners who respected each other.
And finally, last but not least, to the ordinary mwananchi who's watching you in Kenya, and they are wondering how soon they will start to get the benefits of all this agreement. How soon will everything kick off?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yes, because we're continuing with the same relationship. So those of you who are planting and growing and producing fresh produce, especially now that it's winter, please continue to produce because your exports are secure. Those of you who are in tea, your exports are secure. Those of you who are in coffee, find trading partners here, so you don't have to just sell your coffee through Europe. You can sell your coffee directly. Those of you who are in apparel and the people who make apparel and fashion wear, there is a new market in the United Kingdom for all those products out of Kenya.
Okay, just one word to Kenyan farmers. What would you tell them?
Mwende mukalime, there is a market.
Thank you very
Asante.
much. United Kingdom is looking forward to signing lots of trade agreements with especially Commonwealth countries. How important is Africa in general in dealing with UK trade?
We are convinced there are great opportunities from further collaboration with our friends across Africa, and indeed that's why we've been delighted to sign this agreement today with Kenya. Trade between Britain and Kenya totals over £1.4 billion, and indeed there's much more that we can do in the months and years ahead, so this is the start of something really great.
Perhaps you can let us into a secret that we don't know, because the previous Prime Minister Theresa May endorsed Kenya publicly and used Kenya as an example of how Britain can benefit through post-Brexit trade agreements. And also Boris Johnson has done the same thing, using Kenya as an example to the British public. Why is Kenya so special to the United Kingdom?
Because of the huge trade flows that already exist and indeed the opportunities that lie ahead. Over 40% of vegetables from Kenya are exported to Britain, but indeed over 40% of Britain's tea comes from Kenya too. And so it just shows the scale that already exists, indeed the platform from which we can now prosper in the months and years ahead. And the Prime Minister has of course appointed his own trade envoy to Kenya, Theo Clark, who will be looking to do much more business between Britain and Kenya in the coming years.
And how is your feeling towards the entire agreement? Is it a good deal, or are you happy with it, or has Kenya cornered you?
This is a really good deal because it ensures continuity of our trade as it is today, so that businesses on both sides need not fear what happens on the 1st of January. They can continue to trade just as they always have done.
And Britain being a good friend of Kenya as it has been for many, many years, how difficult is it to trade the balance between being a good friend and doing business?
Well, we can do both very easily, and that's been evidenced. Today. We are clear that trade provides a great basis for us to enhance our friendship in the years ahead, creating better livelihoods for people on both sides, creating new jobs for people on both sides, and making sure that our prosperity continues to increase in the years ahead.
And to the British public, how is the United Kingdom going to benefit from this? Especially which sector of Kenyan industries are you going to look at most? Is it the tourism? Is it the agriculture? Where are you having your eyes on in Kenya?
We look forward to doing business in everything, but in particular we are very keen that our agricultural flows will continue to seamlessly transport themselves from Kenya to Britain, ensuring that people's Christmas dinners, indeed the florists that are stocked up across our country, and indeed our tea can continue to be consumed by the British public in the future into 2021.
And Britain being such a good negotiator, being in this game for so long, do you feel like it was maybe Kenya was an easy task for you?
Not at all. Kenya was a tough partner to work with, and they really held out, as you would expect, for the right deal for Kenya, and indeed Britain held out for the right deal for us. But we are great friends, and we identified the opportunity to provide continuity was an opportunity that we ought not miss, and that's why we've got it done today.
Okay, and finally, when you go back to your boss, what will you tell him about the deal?
I know that the Prime Minister will be delighted to learn that this agreement has been signed today, and I know he is very fond of Kenya, as you've said, so I'm sure it will be the start of something really great as we leave the European Union.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.